How to tell if someone is crazy or demon-possessed. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're exploring a question that has fascinated, frightened, and divided humanity for thousands of years. How do you tell if someone is mentally ill or demonically possessed? Across cultures and religions, unusual behavior has always triggered deep curiosity. Some see it as spiritual, some see it as psychological, and some see it as both. Before we jump into conclusions, we must understand that we're really looking at. This speech will take a balanced approach, historical, scientific, and cultural, to show how people have tried to tell the difference and why it's important to respond with wisdom instead of fear. Why this question is complicated. The behaviors people associate with possession, strange voices, unusual movements, visions, or fear can also appear in mental health conditions such as schizophrenia, bipolar mania, PTSD, flashbacks, dissociative identity disorder, epilepsy, substance-induced psychosis. In the past, people did not understand neurology, brain chemistry, or trauma, so anything strange was labeled possession. Today we know that the brain can create powerful experiences that feel supernatural. But at the same time, many religions, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, still teach the concept of spiritual forces. So the question becomes, how do we carefully tell the difference? 2. The historical signs of possession. Religious traditions often describe certain patterns that they attribute to demonic influence. These signs vary by culture, but the most common include 1. Extreme aversion to the sacred. Historical accounts describe people who scream or panic around prayer, holy books, or religious symbols, but only in specific contexts. However, mental illness can also create fear responses triggered by trauma, not demons. 2. Sudden superhuman strength. Some cases include reports of a small person overpowering several adults. But adrenaline during psychosis or panic can also create bursts of unusual strength. 3. Speaking unknown languages. Some stories describe individuals suddenly speaking languages they never learned, but dissociation, mimicry, or random vocalization can sound like foreign languages. Information they shouldn't know. Some accounts claim the person reveals hidden personal details, but people experiencing mania or psychosis can make startlingly accurate guesses. 5. Rapid personality shifts. A sudden change in voice, posture, or identity has been interpreted as possession, but similar changes occur in dissociative identity disorder. These signs are dramatic, but every single one has documented psychological equivalents. So while these historical markers are interesting, they cannot be used alone to label someone possessed. 3. The signs of mental illness. Now let's examine the characteristics of mental illness, especially psychosis, because these are far more common explanations for unusual behavior. 1. Disorganized thinking. Speech becomes difficult to follow, jumping quickly between unrelated ideas. 2. Hallucinations. People may hear voices or see visions that feel absolutely real to them. 3. Delusions. Fixed false beliefs. Beliefs remain unshakable even when evidence contradicts them, such as believing one is being watched, controlled, or targeted by unseen forces. 4. Loss of daily functioning. They may struggle with sleep, hygiene, eating, or communication. 5. Fear and suffering. Most mental health crises come with intense terror, confusion, or emotional pain, unlike the confident or confrontational behavior sometimes described in religious possessions. In other words, mental illness comes from the inside, not from an external entity. 4. The key differences. Many people want a clear dividing line. Here are the commonly cited distinctions, though even these are debated. Triggering factors. 1. Mental illness may be triggered by trauma, genetic stress, or substance use. Possession, from a religious perspective, often described as sudden with no medical cause. 2. Response to treatment. Mental illness improves with therapy, medication, and psychiatric care. Religious possession. Culturally speaking, stories claim improvement with prayer, ritual, or spiritual intervention. 3. Coherence. Mental illness. Thoughts tend to be chaotic, nonsensical, or inconsistent. Possession accounts. Behavior may seem strangely purposeful, coordinated, or targeted. 4. Awareness. Mental illness. Individuals may be confused, frightened, or unaware of their actions. possession accounts describe a separate entity acting deliberately. 5. Pattern across cultures. Mental illness symptoms are consistent across all cultures and religions. Possession narrative. Symptoms vary depending on a person's spiritual beliefs. This cultural layer is important. People often interpret experiences through the lens of what their culture teaches. While we must be careful, accusing someone of being possessed can be dangerous, especially if they are actually experiencing a mental health crisis. History is full of tragedies where people were abused or mistreated because others feared demons instead of recognizing illness. People need compassion, not fear. If someone is hallucinating, panicking, or acting irrationally, they require medical evaluation, not spiritual condemnation. Even religious leaders today often say, rule out mental illness first. Number 6. A practical and responsible approach. When faced with unusual behavior, consider these questions. Is the person in distress or danger? If yes, they need medical help immediately. 2. Does the behavior match known psychiatric symptoms? If it does, that's the safest explanation. 3. Are cultural or religious expectations influencing interpretation? People see what their culture trains them to see. 4. Is the person able to function normally between episodes? Mental illness often disrupts daily life more consistently. 5. What helps them improve? If medical treatment helps, it's likely psychological. 6. Are the claims extraordinary but the behavior ordinary? Many people say spiritual things but behave completely normally. This approach keeps the person safe and avoids harmful assumptions. 7. Conclusion. Wisdom over fear. In the end, the question, are they crazy or possessed, reveals more about our own fear than the person's condition. Most cases of unusual behavior have natural psychological causes, and in the rare cases where families interpret something spiritually, a combined approach, medical and spiritual, can still be compassionate and safe. The most important truth is people in crisis are human beings first. They deserve understanding, not judgment. They need support, not superstition. They need calm thinking, not panic. Whether we look at the issue through the lens of psychiatry, religion, or history, one principle holds true across all perspectives. Respond with wisdom, compassion, and responsibility. Thank you.